As in this video, I am explaining the refraction of light using wave nature. Using wave nature means we are using Huygens principle to explain a refraction formula of a light, or else refraction principle of light. So what's the refraction law of a light? We know that is Snell's law. We say this is a refraction law of light. Mu1 into sin I is equal to mu2 into sin R. So this one is law of refraction. So basically we have to prove this law using wave nature of light using Huygens principle. So for that purpose I am taking one surface. This blue color line is a dividing, it's a separator, it's a medium separator. And below this one, below this blue line, this refractive index mu2 and refractive index above this blue line it's a mu1. Means above medium refractive index mu1 and below medium refractive index mu2, and right now I am considering mu2 is greater than mu1. Means this downward medium is denser medium and upward medium is what? Rarer medium. Okay. Now this one is incident ray of light, this parallel beam of a light striking on this surface. So obviously this will refract, it will enter in the second medium, but we know mu2 is greater than mu1, so it will bend towards normal. So what will happen? This light ray will bend towards normal. Whenever light ray entering from rarer medium to denser medium, that light ray will bend towards normal. What's the meaning of this? I draw this line is called normal, it's a perpendicular on this surface. I draw this line over here, this again perpendicular on this surface. This line is called normal. So this red color line means this beam of a light, whatever light is striking on that surface, it will bend towards normal in the refraction, means it will go like this. It's bending towards normal, so this one is also bending towards normal. So this incident light ray is striking in parallel, it will reflect also in parallel, but it will bend towards normal. Reason for that, it's a rarer to denser medium. Light start from rarer medium and entering into denser medium, so obviously this thing will happen. Now let's say this point is A. I am selecting this point. Let's say this point is A. This point is A and this point is what? B. Now I draw one perpendicular from point A to this line. This line means, let me number this line. This line is number 1 line and this one is what? Number 2 line. So I draw one perpendicular from point A to number 1 line, means at this line. So if I draw that perpendicular, so I will get this. I draw this perpendicular and I will get this 90 degree. Now from point B I draw another perpendicular at first second line, means this line or this line. So I draw this perpendicular from point 1 second, and this angle is 90. So if this angle is 90, this one also 90, means both are right angle triangle. So let's say this point is A, this one is B, and this point we can say this point is C and this point is D. So if you look at triangle ACB, but before that just you tell me this angle is what? I tell me means just you have to pay attention, that's it. So this one is I, so this angle will be how much? 90 minus I. Why? Because total should be 90. If you see the angle between these two lines, it must be 90. So it must be 90 means if this one is I, so this one should be equal to 90 minus I, and this angle should be equal to I. Because this is I, it means this angle should be equal to 90 minus I. This total has to be 90. Total has to be 90 means angle between this normal and this blue color line should be 90. And we already know this angle is what? 90 minus I. So obviously this angle should be equal to I. Similarly for this one. Similarly for this angle is what? R. This angle will be how much? 90 minus R, because total has to be 90. So if this angle is R, so this angle will be how much? 90 minus R. So if this one will be 90 minus R, so this angle will be equal to R. So we got angle for these two triangles. This one is I and this one is R. So if you look at triangle ABC, I am talking about triangle ABC means this triangle, upper one, this one. Triangle ABC is this triangle I am talking about. So if you look at triangle ABC, what I can write? Sin I is equal to, we can write perpendicular divided by hypotenuse. If you look at this triangle, what is perpendicular of this triangle? Perpendicular. In front of angle, whatever side is there, that is called perpendicular. In front of this BC is there. So BC is perpendicular. So I can write this one BC divided by hypotenuse. What's the hypotenuse of this triangle? I am talking triangle ABC. I am talking about triangle ABC. So if you look at triangle ABC, so AB line is hypotenuse. So this is line AB. So I got equation 1. So this is equation 1. Now If you look at triangle ADB, so what I can write sin r. So sin r will be equal to perpendicular. Again, perpendicular divided by hypotenuse. What's a perpendicular of triangle ADB? In front of this r, whatever side is there, that side will be perpendicular. So what's a perpendicular right now? AD. And what's the hypotenuse? AB. So what I can write? AD divided by AB. Now if I divide equation 1 by equation 2, obviously we know this AB and AB get cancelled. So what I'll get finally, sin I divided by sin r, that should be equal to BC divided by 8. Let's say velocity of light in this medium, it's a v1, means upper medium it's a v1, and velocity of light in this medium is second medium, it's a v2. So velocity of light in this medium v1 and downward medium it's a v2. So if you see the CV, BC or CB, this is the distance. The distance is equal to speed into time. And right now velocity and speed both are same thing. I'm not telling velocity and speed both are same thing every time. But velocity and speed both are same thing if object is moving on a straight line. So right now I'm talking about straight line motion. So obviously if I speak velocity or as I speak speed, both have a single meaning right now. Okay, so CB is what distance, and distance what I can write? Distance is equal to velocity into time, or else we can write speed into time. So what's the speed over here? V1, and time is what? T. In place of CB what I can write? V1 into T. Similarly if you see speed in this case it's a V2. So in place of AD is what? Distance, and distance is equal to speed into time. So what's the speed over here? V2, and V2 into time. I can write this distance is equal to V2 into time. So this one will be V2 into time. So I got this CB and I got this AD. So CB is equal to V1T and AD is equal to V2T. So I put that value of CB. CB means BC. BC or CB both are same thing. So BC how much? V1T, and AD how much? V2T. Why? Because distance is equal to speed into time. So if I write this one V1T into V1T divided by V2T, we know T will get cancelled. So finally what I am getting? Sin I divided by sin R is equal to V1 divided by V2. This is what I am getting. But if we know the definition of refractive index, we know by definition refractive index mu is equal to, by definition we know mu is equal to C divided by V. This is the definition. So the meaning of this one, this is the speed of light in vacuum. This is speed of light in vacuum, and this one is the speed of light in medium. V is what? Speed of light in medium. So that's what we calculate. Refractive index. This is the formula. Some formula in 10th grade NCERT is there. This formula. Nu is equal to C divided by V. C is what is speed of light in vacuum, and V is speed of light in that medium, in particular medium. So if I am talking about first mediums, I can also write mu1 is equal to C divided by V1. Obviously C won't change. C is always 3 into 10 raised to 8. So mu1 is equal to C divided by V1. And mu2 what I can write? C divided by V2. So mu2 I can write C divided by V2, and mu1 I can write C divided by V1. So if I divide equation 1 by equation 2, so what I'll get? Mu1 divided by mu2, equation 1 divided by equation 2. Mu1 divided by mu2 is equal to V2 divided by V1. What I did basically, equation 1 divided by equation 2, I got this result. Okay. Now if I reverse, I make it ulta of this one. So I'll get mu2 divided by mu1 is equal to V1 divided by V2. If you see the previous page, I already proved that. If you see the previous page with this one, I already proved that sin I divided by sin R is equal to V1 divided by V2. Sin I divided by sin R is equal to V1 divided by V2. Means if I return back to this one, sin I divided by sin R, sin I divided by sin R, we already proved that that one was V1 divided by V2. You can see that page. I proved that sin R divided by sin R, V1 divided by V2. Now one more thing I proved that V1 divided by V2, this V1 divided by V2 is equal to mu2 divided by mu1. So I can also write this thing is equal to mu2 divided by mu1. If I consider this part and this part only, so what I can write finally, sin I divided by sin R is equal to mu2 divided by mu1. It means mu1 into sin I is equal to mu2 into sin R. This is the formula. Mu1 into sin I is equal to mu2 into sin R, and this is law of refraction. Snell's law of refraction. Thank you.